Hello and welcome to another video. Today I want to actually show off some of the specific details of my 40K chessboard. So as you can see, we've got Chaos on one side and Imperials on the other. This is a combination project that I had. Originally I had one of each of the main chapters, and then as I started thinking about it, I also wanted a 40K chess set, so since I had a bunch of Imperials and I had started on some Chaos, it just seemed like a natural combination of those two projects. But now I want to go over some of the close-ups. So first let me give you a nice shot of, so there's the Imperials. And the Chaos. And so essentially with this project, I wanted all of the pawns to be on 25mm. So we'll start with our Dark Angel here. There we go. And so just basic bolter guy. I've given everybody a little tiny details, like we added just these little scrolls here. But for each pawn, we've got a special. So the rook in this case for Dark Angels is a Death Watch, or Deathwing. And then moving down the line, we've got Blood Angel with its special, which of course is the Knight. So all my Knights have jump packs because they're the only piece that can move over. And then next we've got the Space Wolf. And for my bishops, I gave them all heavy weapons. So for the Imperial side, they're missile launchers. When I get to the Chaos, you'll see that they've got the autocannons. Of course, got plenty of little wolf tails on both. Of course, we've got our Long Fang. I also gave him this Frost Axe, just because, I mean, they're Space Wolves, so even when they're shooting unit, they've got some kind of close combat. Now I'm going to show these two because these two don't actually have a specific special for the chessboard. I do for some other projects. I've got a Dreadnought for my Iron Hands and of course a Bike for my White Scar. But for the chessboard, they're just kind of on their own. Of course, I've got some Bionics on the Iron Hand, on his leg and arm. And then the White Scar has this little top knot and a knife because they're a little bit more combat oriented. Then of course my King and my Queen for the Imperials. For my Kings, of course, I wanted to get, you know, a bigger based model. This is the only Primaris I have for this. Just because I like that model, and this decoration right here looks very much like a crown. For my Queen, I actually have a Librarian, so we've got a Blood Raven here, and this is just a conversion from various parts. I gave it a Force Axe, little book here at the top, and that is, and of course the Plasma. For my Chaos, I also have a Sorcerer, so basically my Queens are Psychics. And then we've got our Imperial Fist. So of course give him a Power Fist, even though it's just a pawn. But again, the 25mm base is what really sets them off as pawns. And then the Bishop is another missile launcher. My Raven Guard, which of course would have to be the other jetpack model, gave it twin lightning claws. And of course they have the beaky helmets because why not? And finally on the Imperial side we have the Salamander. You can't have a Salamander without Flamer. And then, of course, Thunderhammer and Storm Shield for the Rook. And I added these just to give it a little bit more of a Salamander flair. And now for the Chaos. We'll start with the Death Guard. So I've got our pawn here. And of course, one of the things I didn't mention on the Imperial side, but on the Imperial side, my Blood Angel, my Space Wolf, you know, they are more combat-oriented, so I gave them pistol and a combat weapon. For all of the Chaos-oriented, or the specific aligned, I gave them the pistol and close combat weapon. So Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Khorne. And of course, I just tricked out this regular Terminator to look like a Death Guard Terminator. And now for my Night Lords. And of course, on my Chaos guys, I added this little bayonet, again, to give them a little bit more of a spiky, evil Chaos look. Of course, Night Lords are all about jump packs and talons and things, so Lightning Claw, pistol, and of course all the blue lightning. For the Emperor's Children, so again, pistol and combat weapon, and an autocannon for the Bishop. And one of the things that I did to unify all of the Chaos is that they all have a black shoulder pad. So again, because this would be the black and these would be the white. And so they all have that black shoulder pad, even though this is a word bearer. And then for my king, he's actually Black Legion, so plenty of black detail. I made sure to make all kinds of special modifications on him because, you know, my rooks are Terminators, so I needed him to be set out and not be confused with a rook because he is the king. And then for my Thousand Sons, of course, this is my Librarian. You'll notice just like my Blood Raven, where I put them on a taller base so that they're a little taller. They've got, of course, the little icon decoration up here. In this case, I put them on a disc just to denote, you know, it's the queen, so they can do all kinds of crazy movement in chess. And then, of course, we've got our pawn. Next is the Alpha Legion, which I chose to have as a bishop. And I really had a lot of fun painting these guys because I used metallic blue and then did a green wash over it. And then I picked out some of the highlights with a metallic green. So they do have kind of this shiny, shimmering, metallic bluish green look. And then, of course, added these little Hydra bits. And then we've got our World Eater. So we've got a Berserker. Definitely wanted to give him a chain axe. And then our Raptor. And finally, our Iron Warrior, which I've actually converted this as an obliterator originally, since the Iron Warriors use obliterators the most. But then they came out with the plastic obliterators, which are pretty big, so he could just be a regular Terminator that's undergoing the obliterator virus. But that is my 40K chess. I hope you all enjoy.